Hello and welcome back. In today's episode of Daily English Through Story, we continue the amazing journey of the Statue of Liberty. In Chapter 3, you will discover how this statue became a symbol of hope, freedom, and a new life for millions of people around the world, especially those arriving in America for the first time. From touching immigrant stories to powerful words of poetry, this chapter will inspire you with the true meaning behind the Lady of Liberty. So sit back, enjoy the story in simple English, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories every week. Let's begin Chapter 3, A Light of Hope. A new light in the harbor. After many years of planning, building, shipping, and assembling, the Statue of Liberty finally stood tall on Bedloe's Island in New York Harbor. On October 28, 1886, the statue was officially opened to the public. People came from all over to see her. She was beautiful, powerful, and full of meaning. With her torch held high, she seemed to say, "You are welcome here." But the story of the Statue of Liberty did not end that day. In fact, it was only the beginning. She was no longer just a gift from France to America. She became something much bigger, a symbol of freedom and hope for the whole world. Immigrants and a new life. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, millions of people came to the United States from other countries. Many of them were poor and had hard lives in their home countries. They wanted a better life, a life with freedom, safety, and opportunity. Most of these people arrived in New York by ship, and the first thing they saw was the Statue of Liberty. Imagine this, a family on a ship, tired after a long trip across the ocean. They are scared, but hopeful. Then they see her, the tall lady in the harbor, holding a torch to light their way. She is like a promise. You are welcome. You can begin again. For many immigrants, seeing the Statue of Liberty was an emotional moment. Some cried, some prayed, some smiled with joy. She was more than metal and stone. She was a sign of a new beginning. Ellis Island and the gateway to America. Near the Statue of Liberty is another island, Ellis Island. Starting in 1892, this was the place where immigrants were checked before they could enter the United States. Doctors checked their health. Officials asked questions like, "What is your name? Where are you from? Do you have family in the U.S.?" It was a long and sometimes scary process, but most people were allowed in. And when they left Ellis Island, they could begin their new life in America. More than 12 million people passed through Ellis Island from 1892 to 1954. And almost every one of them saw the Statue of Liberty first. She was the first face of America they saw. A poem that changed everything. In 1883, before the statue was even finished, a woman named Emma Lazarus wrote a poem called The New Colossus. She wrote it to help raise money for the statue's pedestal. But her words became famous. Here is the most well-known part of the poem. "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the bolden door." These lines are now written on a plaque inside the pedestal of the Statue of Liberty. They gave the statue a new voice, not just a gift from France, but a message to the world. If you are tired, poor, and in need, come, you are welcome. Emma Lazarus helped people see the Statue of Liberty not only as a gift, but as a mother of exiles who welcomes all who are seeking freedom. A changing world. As the years went by, the world changed. The United States changed. Wars were fought. The country grew bigger and more powerful. New technologies were invented. But through all of this, the Statue of Liberty stood strong. In World War I and World War II, American soldiers passed the statue on their way to fight. Some never came back, but they knew what they were fighting for: freedom, the very thing the statue stood for. During hard times like the Great Depression, people lost jobs and homes. They looked at the statue and remembered that America had faced hard times before and could survive again. In the Civil Rights Movement, people who wanted equal rights for Black Americans looked to the statue and said, "We believe in freedom too, the same freedom the statue represents." So even though the statue never moved, her meaning grew. She became a light for every group of people fighting for justice and freedom. Repairs and restorations. By the 1980s, the Statue of Liberty was almost 100 years old. She was strong, but she needed help. Years of wind, rain, and salt had made the copper green and the iron inside rusty. People decided it was time to fix her, to give her a new life. In 1984, a big team of workers and engineers started to restore the statue. They took apart parts of her and cleaned every piece. Some parts were replaced. The torch was completely redone. A new gold-covered flame was added to shine even brighter. In 1986, the statue turned 100 years old. There was a huge celebration in New York City. Fireworks, music, parades. People around the world watched and remembered what the statue meant. President Ronald Reagan said, "We are the keepers of the flame of liberty." The statue was ready for another 100 years. Learning from the statue, today, millions of people visit the Statue of Liberty every year. They take boats to Liberty Island and walk around the base. Some climb up inside and look out from her crown. Schools bring students. Families come together. Tourists from all over the world take photos. They learn about her history, her message, and her meaning. The statue also helps us ask big questions. What does freedom really mean? Who gets to have freedom? How can we protect liberty for everyone? These questions are not easy. But the statue reminds us that liberty is something worth working for. Final thoughts from Chapter 3. The Statue of Liberty is more than just a statue. She is a symbol, a promise, a welcome sign, a light that never goes out. She reminds us of friendship between nations. She reminds us of hope for a better life. She reminds us that freedom is for everyone, no matter where they come from, what they look like, or what language they speak. From her spot in the harbor, she continues to speak, not with words, but with light.